Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So I want to ask the question, should men ever forgive women? Because here's the thing. With the level of entitlement that we have seen and the demonization of men that we have seen, I don't see how we can even recover our society and civilization. I believe that the road that we are going down leads to only one place. It leads to collectivism, to socialism. And ignorance does not absolve one of responsibility of their choices. But before I get into it, let me just say thank you to everybody who's been stopping by, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, even donating. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the Howard Dare channel, as there's a lot more content like this, and I would really appreciate it. Also, please click on the bell symbol and accept the email notifications, because YouTube routinely takes people off of the notification list and makes changes to favor and to disadvantage particular channels. So I would really appreciate that. And you might be surprised what actually happens. Now, let's talk about it. Should men ever forgive women? So women and a collective victim population have made the choice that the reason why they are not successful in life is because men of Western civilization are holding them back. That Western civilization itself is holding them back. You know, sometimes I get into these comments, exchanges with women about how unsuitable men are and how they are rejecting the standards and traditions and practices of men. And I'm aware of the fact that it's a process, okay? They're denying the scientific process. They're denying the objective reality. In other words, James Damore gets in trouble for reporting on the statistics on how men and women select their jobs and what professions they go into. So, you know, I recently had one of my videos pulled, okay? And I was merely stating facts. You know what I mean? I wasn't even putting out any hateful personal opinions or anything like that. I was just stating some facts. And it was like, well, that's completely unacceptable. And it's like, well, why? And the answer is because it makes the women and the underachieving people upset. Like, well, I agree, it does. But is it true? In other words, if 13% of your population is committing 65-70% of your violent crime, then that group, and I'm not saying who that group is, should represent a larger percentage of the prison population and should be involved in, you know, legal disciplinary situations at the rate that they commit violent crime, not the rate that they represent of the population. If a particular population, let's say a particular group represents 10% of the population, okay? But they only represent 1 or 2% of graduating from STEM fields, okay? They should not, they may not, they cannot represent 10% of the people within STEM field because they represent 10% of the people in the population, okay? That's not the correlation. And you can't give them an easier time in college in order to get them into the STEM fields. And you know that's exactly what we're doing, right? I mean, Asian people are very upset. Oh, no, God, scratch the video, edit that. Well, you know, either we edit that or we're done, right? Can't say that. Some groups that are more intelligent than others are being excluded from colleges because they're too intelligent. And some groups that are not very intelligent at all are being given lower standards to get into college. Now, from an equality of outcome point of view, wow, that's just great, isn't it? But from equality of opportunity, it's injustice, isn't it? In other words, two people work to get to a certain standard. One of them gets there, the other one doesn't. And so we reject the one who reaches the standard and we promote the one who doesn't. Well, if you do that, if you regularly pursue that sort of a process, why would people work hard to reach the standard? So the expectation of equality of outcome and then playing the victim to explain why not everybody, you know, has equal results in life, it undermines enlightened self-interest. There's no reason for you to work hard if you're not going to be paid hard. There's no reason to excel if you're actually going to be punished for doing a good job. And, I get into these debates and arguments with other people who come at it from different points of view. It's not too complicated. You can ask yourself, who does this benefit? If we institute these policies of equality of outcome, okay? Who does it benefit and who does it hurt? And I'll make it simple for you. It benefits the people who are not good enough to do the job, and it hurts the people who are good enough to do the job. So, do you understand why you would try to institute such a policy? You would institute such a policy if you were a person who could not reach the standard but still wanted the resources associated with reaching those standards. So all of you guys, all of you people who are standing up and saying, we should make things equal, we should make things fair, what you're really saying is that you can't make it in a fair game, and that you want the people who are good at the game to be taken down a notch, and you want the people who are not very good at the game, yourself, to be raised up a notch. It's only fair, but it's not. It's exactly what's not fair. I suppose if you're the one who wants the free break, that you won't be able to see that it's unfair. It's not even grading on a curve. It's using, groups' victim status within a victim hierarchy to determine the handicapping of what we're doing. And it's not just particular instances of injustice. As I said, it's an attempt to break the whole system of enlightened self-interest. It's, we should all get paid the same. And the only people who want to suggest that are people who are not worth very much. So when I'm in these debates and these arguments with, other guys saying, oh, it's all the same. It's like, no, it's not all the same. There is a huge difference in the choices that you make. And then I've got people telling me, well, in 50,000 years, it all ends in the same place. And it's like, well, I'm not concerned with 50,000 years. I'm concerned, with the next 5 days. I'm concerned with the next 5 weeks, 5 years. That's the scope and the scale of my life. This doesn't matter in a geological sense. Well, it might. You never know. So there's really no way to forgive, this type of behavior because of the harm that it does to the system itself. On the individual basis, sure, do whatever you want, feel whatever you want. But this was a betrayal. This is a betrayal of the processes that enable us to work with objective reality. And they know that. They know that. And it's done for personal advantage. In other words, 100 people want to get into the Guild of Electricians, okay? But only 20 of them have reached the standard and have the level of knowledge. So the other 80 suggest that you should lower the standards and you should exclude the people who are above the standard. Why would they do such a thing? You know what I mean? Like I've got to put it out there like you've got to ask the question and examine it. And people are like scratching their heads and saying, well, let's consider this. They're doing it so that they can get a free job that they're not qualified for. And so that they can, get the resources and the status, which they have not earned. And they're doing it to punish the people who have earned it for hurting their feelings. So that's where the modern left is. That's what they do. Maybe a young person got a good grade on a test. It's like, well, that's privilege. Check your privilege. So let's start grading, everybody with an A as an F. And let's start grading everybody with an F as an A. It's only fair. It's not fair. It's not true. So do the 20% who work hard forgive the 80% who lie and then steal from them? And the answer is, I don't see how it's going to happen. And I don't even think it should happen. Like I deal with some people that I would rather not deal with, that are just unworthy. They lack virtue, they lack honor, they lack integrity. To deal with them in any way is to be hurt and to be harmed. That's all. Nothing they say, nothing they do will, none of it's true. Do I feel bad that they're not really accomplished or anything like that? No, of course not. Do they despise me for what I am capable of doing? Yeah, that's exactly right. So I know that it's nice to be popular and to be part of the group. But if the group is going down the wrong road, do you really want to be with them? Do you really want to be in the car with them if they're heading for a cliff? It's your choice. It's your choice. It seems like many people would, and I find that very sad. But I'm going to leave it at that for now. So let me know what you think about this in the comments section below. And please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate, and join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, MGTOW.